What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. My hardcore Dryad only series came to an abrupt halt with my Dryad's death in Chaos 8. However, one thing about that series is it was actually pretty fun to do. So I definitely want to get another one started that is a hardcore type playthrough with just one hero only. However, who is going to be next? Now, last time I just went through the comments, took the top 5 or whatever heroes that people mentioned, and ran a poll, and the Dryad won. However, there was lots of folks afterwards saying, oh, well, I wish you would have done this, or I wish you would have done that hero. So instead of running a poll, where with a poll I am limited to how many heroes I can select, this time we're just going to go by votes on a comment. So down below this video, there is going to be all the heroes listed, and to pick which hero you want to see for the next hardcore only playthrough, just give that hero a thumbs up on the comment. So let's take a look through the heroes that will be there. Now, first things first, a few of them are just out of the question. I'm not going to do a DPS only hero. This is a tower defense game. I don't intend to try to play it as a shooter. And of course, you're just going to be greatly limited on the DPS hero, on how far you can make it, as you'll have no defenses to set up. So there won't be any DPS only heroes going through it. Now, taking a look through at the original 4, I think all of these would be pretty fun. I think the easiest out of all of these to do would be the Apprentice. The Squire would be a super easy playthrough to do as well, assuming you found a Piercer Servo right away. The Huntress and the Monk would both be very fun to do, but I think that they would both have the probably the earliest death. I think they would be able to make it the least forward. I think the Monk probably the least of all of them. The Huntress has that Poison Dart Tower, could throw in the mix as well, which would help out. The Abyss Lord, I think, would be very similar as the Dryad was. That would be a super easy one. The EV would be right there with the Monk. Now, you would get the Reflect Beam benefit. However, I do feel like the EV would fall off relatively easy. The Lavamancer, of course, has a wall, but only has one tower, the Volcano, and you can only place one of those down. This would encourage multiple Lavamancers right from the start. That way you could place multiple Volcanoes, which that would be an option. Once again, with the Volcanoes, we'd probably want to get lucky with a Piercer Servo as well. Now, the Mystic has got a wall, has got some of the best towers in the game. I think this would be very similar to the Dryad as well. The Mystic would be a strong option. The Dryad, of course, we just did. Next up, we've got the Initiate. The Initiate doesn't have a wall, does have some auras, and has some towers as well. The Chi Spirit Tower and the Firework Cannon could both be used pretty heavily. And then the Water Aura and Frost Strike Aura would give us some auras and a bunch of crowd control. The Adept, lots of strong options. However, what the Adept does not have is any sort of wall to use. We've got the Flame Burst Tower, the Tesla Coil, the Hailstorm Tower, and the Crystal Hammer. I think the Flame Burst Tower would go a long way, as would the Tesla Coil. The Mercenary would without a doubt be one of the strongest to do. Not only is it an incredibly strong DPS hero, even with mediocre gear, it does have a wall. It's got the Nether Spiders, which are fun, but it also has the Nether Archer and the Elvish Artillery Cannon, which are both really incredible for leveling. Now, the Countess does not have a wall. However, the Countess does have some crazy good defenses. Flat cannons just have incredible knockback, which would be very helpful. And then you've got the Elder Dragon, which is just an absolute beast. The Engineer, same boat, no wall, but does have a little natural crowd control with the EMP trap. We also have like the Magnetic Knight Tower, which is really good, and the Railgun Tower, which is really good. The Sentry Turret, super low cost single target DPS, would do very well also. However, no wall, and I think that would be the limiting factor there. The Hunter. The Hunter would be another one which I think would be one of the easiest choices. In my opinion, I think maybe the Mercenary and the Hunter could actually push perhaps the furthest of anyone else. The Hunter, of course, has one of the strongest walls in the game, but also has some just really good defenses to use. Spectral Knights and Gargoyles could be just quite powerful throughout. Next up, the Aquarian. Once again, no wall. The towers are all very usable, however, not crazy extreme in any aspect. However, I do think the Aquarium could make it a little ways through in that sort of playthrough. So, as I mentioned, look down below in the comments. I'm going to just have a comment listed with each individual hero. On each comment, just vote that one up, and that is the hero we would do next. Some of them I think would be incredibly fun, but I do think would be very short series, like the Huntress and the Monk. Those would be super fun to try. However, I don't think I would make it very far with those, yet it would be very enjoyable, no doubt. As far as strongest choices, like I mentioned, I think the Mercenary or the Hunter could probably go the furthest. As far as just fun attempts that would be very doable to push to a decent distance, the Abyss Lord, the Lavamancer, the Mystic, those would all be very, very good choices as well. But anyway, let me know what you all want to see down in the comments below. Please just vote up those existing comments that I put down and not add additional comments. That way it doesn't spread the voting out too much. Once again, to run a poll on the YouTube community page does not, it's limited how many poll entries I could have. I wouldn't be able to fit all of the heroes. So anyway, that will do it for now. Vote it up, y'all, and we will get the next series started for Hardcore, one hero only. But thanks a ton for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your long weekend and Easter holiday, and I will see you all soon. Take it easy.